That's the East Gate, the Mercy Gate, the Golden Gate as it's known. It's been sealed up for a long, long time.
The return of Jesus has been known for centuries, but it is not until now that we've started seeing signs.
There are a number of signs that Jesus and the Hebrew prophets that will be indicators that we are in the last days and that return of Jesus is coming.
Ancient discoveries that change the course of our history.
Look at that. This is where Jesus ascended into heaven.
And phenomena that were never before witnessed.
There's a fire inside the rocks.
Are we on the brink of something catastrophic? This is your chance to find out.
And we've seen them in Mississippi like this, but
Look at that. This is where Jesus ascended into heaven.
This is the Chapel of the Ascension, located on the Mount of Olives, Jerusalem. This chapel is believed to be a site where Jesus ascended into heaven after his resurrection. There's also a stone slab in there that has one of his footprints.
This piece of rock is said to be the footprint of Jesus. When he went up to the heavens, he left his footprint over here.
Today, the place is very famous among believers, and hundreds of them visit daily. Noah's Ark.
A large ship far inland.
What in the world would a boat be doing way up there?
For the longest time, historians have been trying to find traces of Noah's Ark, and their hopes might just have been reignited. Experts trace the presence of the historical piece on Mount Ararat in Turkey. According to the stories in Holy Scriptures, Noah built the huge ark to save everyone from an imminent catastrophe. After estimating its location from the books, experts found that it would rest somewhere on the mountain of Ararat. The giant rock formation possessed the unmistakable shape of a giant boat ship. Was this just a coincidence or the real deal? Hundreds of scientists from around the world have set out to uncover the truth.
If these photos actually show Noah's Ark, then they can prove that everything that's written in the Bible about this whole event is actually true.
Ark of the Covenant. Archaeologists from Jerusalem were stunned when they pulled out a giant container from an excavation site, which shared a shocking resemblance with the Ark of the Covenant. According to religious scriptures, the Ark had two angels stationed on top of it and possessed the 10 Commandments that God sent down to Moses, preserved in the form of written tablets. Despite the resemblance, its origins are still debated, as some argue that it was the grave of a wealthy man from ancient times, while on the other hand, according to true believers, touching the box would prove fatal for anyone who dared. Whatever it was, the mystery will only clear out once the results of the analysis come in. Come on. Underground fire.
There's a fire inside the rocks.
Taking a walk in the wild, this guy came across something very strange. He noticed that the ground he was standing on was burning up from the inside. As he panned the camera toward a creek, he found the inside burning bright orange. And on another spot, there was smoke coming out from beneath the ground. He immediately left the place and posted the clip online. While many seem to think this was an underground pathway to hell, someone came up with a more plausible explanation, saying that this was Centralia's mine fire in Pennsylvania, which has been burning since the 60s, with no signs of going out.
Dude, those rocks are glowing red.
I want to see.
Burning crater. Within the scorching desert of Turkmenistan lies a jaw-dropping sight. The Gateway to Hell, also known as the Darvaza Natural Gas Crater. This fiery pit is wide enough to take in a small village and deep enough to make anyone dizzy. Naturally formed back in 1970, it has been burning continuously for over 50 years. However, authorities have now decided to seal off the crater and take out the flames once and for all. They claim it's a move to protect the environment from pollution and ensure the safety of people living in the region. Gold in the Euphrates. The Euphrates River holds significant religious importance, and its drying up is believed to be a prophecy of an impending apocalypse. As water levels in the river are continuously decreasing, many hidden secrets are being uncovered. Apart from ancient walls and cities, large deposits of gold have been discovered near the river. Surprisingly, the gold was scattered like stones, making it easy for miners to collect. Experts suggest that the river's reduced size is due to the excessive use of water by farmers, but it appears there may be a sizable gold source in the area. Desert turned oasis. There's a very famous sign of the end of the world, that being when the arid Arabian lands turn to lush meadows. That will be it. The world would end soon after, and it seems like the prophecy just turned true. Recently, after a spell of heavy rains in the city of Mecca and its surrounding mountains, they turned green, leaving people terrified of its consequences. Will the world really end after this? I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. Garden Tomb. The place that you see in this clip is called the Garden Tomb, unearthed in 1867, and though it might look ordinary at first, it holds great importance for the Christians as a pilgrimage site, lying in the heart of historic Jerusalem just outside the old city walls. This place is believed to contain an ancient tomb. Now, although the tomb lies empty, its nature is still open to debate. Some Protestants believe it is the place of Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection. There is not much known about the grave aside from a faded Greek symbol referring to the crucifixion and resurrection of Christ. Fallen angels. The Euphrates has been drying up, and excavations at various sites were underway when something quite strange began happening. The workers reported odd sounds coming from the underground caves, eerie and bone-chilling, as if a giant trapped inside was roaring at the top of its lungs. As the internet went wild with speculation, surprisingly, there was no news coverage of the incident. Some believe these sounds were coming from the 4 angels bound to the river talked about in the Bible. Others pointed out that it could be the beast trapped in a bottomless pit that would rise when the end is near. The end of times, or an elaborate hoax? What's your take on this? Dome of the Rock.
A UFO hovers over one of the holiest sites in Islam, the Dome of the Rock on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem.
For years, Jerusalem has been famous for bizarre activity happening in its skies. Like back in 2011, locals witnessed this bizarre ball of light appear above Al-Aqsa Mosque, Dome of the Rock. The bright ball was wobbly as it just hung there in the sky.
We've seen them in Mississippi like this, but never like this.
Onlookers were shocked when the light just suddenly moved upward and disappeared. Now wait, before you dismiss this clip as a hoax, as many others did on the internet, the same phenomenon was recorded by someone else from another angle. The same ball of light descended over the dome, stood there for a while, and then was gone. Netizens speculated that the bright light was actually a divine angel making an appearance. Do let me know. What are your thoughts on this one? Adam footprint.
Alhamdulillah, kami sudah sampai.
Now let's go back to the dawn of humanity. In Sri Lanka, there's a mountain called Sri Pada, or Adam's Peak, renowned for its significance as the place where Adam and Eve are said to have first descended to Earth. Legend has it that a massive footprint was etched into the rocks, and it's believed to be that of Adam's. Due to its religious significance, the site attracts hundreds of locals and tourists every day. While filming the footprint itself is not permitted, visitors are welcome to see it in person.
Alhamdulillah, kami sudah sampai.
Voracious sand. A man treading through a desert came across a mind-boggling sight. The sand at his feet was moving like boiling water. To check if it was just for looks, he tried to throw a brick at it, and to his shock, the object was completely devoured by the sand. Trying it once again, he was surprised to see similar results. And still, it kept gurgling as if not satisfied by just 2 bricks. What could this phenomenon be? Well, netizens had some wild theories to share. Many believe there was a giant snoring underneath, causing the sand to move that way, while others believe that it was underground gas acting up. But that hardly appeared to be the case, as someone pointed out the sheer pressure with which the sand was moving. Cave of Horrors.
This is quite a discovery. Fragments of a biblical scroll, along with other relics, have been found in desert caves in Israel.
A group of archaeologists exploring the Cave of Horrors in Israel came across a very strange discovery. They found fragments of an ancient biblical scroll, primarily written in Greek, with the name of God appearing in Hebrew. The discovery was considered significant when they found that it likely dated back to the centuries around the birth of Christ. Although the scrolls were in fragments, they still contained many important verses and prophecies. Being the first biblical fragments found in over 60 years, the discovery became even more important, and then, later on, it was directly transferred to a laboratory for further research. Cursed rocks.
Sensational.
Yeah.
You feel it moving.
An ancient site recently excavated showed signs of something unusual at play. Take a look for yourself. When the guy stuck a spoon in the crevice of this primitive stone, to his shock, it started moving. Although the movement was slight, it was noticeable. It appeared as if the boulder was imbued with some kind of energy. Some folks on social media suggested that it could be an ancient curse, while others speculated a secret alien base relating it to the conspiracy theories surrounding pyramids. While the phenomenon seemed real enough, the authenticity of the video is still debated. End of times. Looks like the prophecy about the dry lands of Saudi Arabia turning fertile are actually coming true. This rushing body of water was filmed nowhere but the deserts of Saudi Arabia. Formed during the heavy rainfalls, this lake shocked people and led to believers preparing for a catastrophe. While the prophecy itself is very significant religiously, the claim, however, remains debatable, as some have pointed out that the body of water was caused due to flooding and soon disappeared. Well, I guess since the Earth's still going around, we can assume they're right. Underground castle.
Drought in Turkey has revealed a long-lost castle.
A few years back, a massive drought rocked Turkey, leading to severe water shortages on one hand, but on the other, revealing a hidden treasure from the past. Named the Hastek Castle, this elusive structure was carved into a giant stone and contained dozens of rooms connected through narrow balconies. Tourists and historians jumped for the opportunity to look back into the Urartian period, when this impressive castle had been built. But it wasn't just for show. There were strategic reasons behind the architecture of this place. These holes were not just for ventilation, but used to monitor threats and trade with the outer world as well. 2,700-year-old sculpture.
A winged Lamassu sculpture has been discovered in northern Iraq.
An excavation team in northern Iraq made a discovery of a lifetime when they stumbled upon a 2,700-year-old sculpture. Searching through the area of Khorzabad, they found this winged masterpiece, preserved in excellent shape. The sculpture depicted a Lamassu, an Assyrian deity with a human head, the body of a bull, and the wings of a bird, dating back to 705 BC. Even the experts were shocked at how this 18-ton sculpture managed to stay in one piece and face little to no decay over the years. Even the intricate details of the wings were still intact. After being excavated, it was sent to be displayed at a museum. Well of Hell. Right in the middle of Al Marra Desert in Yemen lies a giant well, a very little understood natural wonder. Known as the Well of Hell, the locally famous folktale suggests that it was created as a prison for demons. It was explored for the first time in 2021, and many new discoveries were made. The giant hole is about 30 meters wide, about half the height of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Geological investigation revealed that it's about millions of years old. What made the well even creepier was the gross scent rising from its depths. Locals also believe that it can suck in nearby objects, so out of fear of being pulled in or bringing bad luck, they stay away from that eerie well, and it remains a mystery for everyone. Jewish treasure. This guy was out with his metal detector in search of a treasure, and this is what he found. A massive trove of ancient statues and vases of all sizes hidden within a small cave. People believe that the statues were probably placed there by the owner years, if not centuries ago, in hopes to save them. And now, this man had discovered them. However, netizens thought the guy was making the whole thing up, as it's not possible to find something like this with only a metal detector. Others who believed the guy was for real were angry that he should have called the authorities to keep these precious ancient antiquities safe. Gate to Hell.
No, it's a gate, man.
A pair of adventurers stumbled upon a cave that sent shivers down their spines. It was filled with narrow tunnels that twisted and turned at impossible intervals. But that was not enough to discourage the seasoned explorers who reached the end of it and found a mysterious iron gate limiting access to the other side.
The heck? Yeah.
A barrier deep inside a cave raised a lot of suspicion among the online community, giving rise to speculations about ancient tales of caves that led to hell. Some brought up the Islamic prophecy of the beast of the earth that will rise near the end of times. Are we about to witness something horrific, or does that gate actually lead to hell?
Dang. That's crazy.
Giant footprints. There are many ancient and extraordinary temples in Syria, but people are specifically fascinated with the Temple of Ain Dara. That is probably due to the strange giant footprints carved into the floor right at the entrance of the temple. The prints, along with the temple itself, are estimated to date back 3,300 years. While nobody's really sure how they got there or for whom the temple was built, the experts are divided in their opinions regarding its origins. Some believe that the people who built the temple carved out the prints to represent the procession of gods into the temple. However, local legends have it that giants themselves built the temple, leaving the footprints behind as evidence. Cave Kids.
Dozens of handprints cover the walls of the underground cavern in Mexico.
Archaeologists have discovered something very bizarre inside a Mexican cave. Dozens of red and black handprints cover the walls of the subterranean cave, mostly made by children, dating back to 1,200 years when Maya's advanced culture was at its peak. Initially, scientists speculated children were involved in sacrificial rituals. But an in-depth analysis by one expert revealed that it was a coming-of-age ceremony to mark an individual's transition into adulthood.
The work is believed to be associated with a coming-of-age ritual, and that the colors have meaning.
Quite different from these ancient artworks were the prints that left experts shocked. Found in the White Mountains of Wyoming were marks carved into the stone made by nothing else but bare hands. These deep-set handprints were made into solid sandstone, as if our ancestors had found a way to soften rocks. Another theory circulating around the archaeological community is that the individuals were in so much pain that they clutched the stone so hard it left these marks behind. Did our ancestors possess supernatural powers, or was there something more sinister at play here? I'll let you be the judge. Dino Bone.
All right, well, paleontologists in southwestern France have unearthed the thigh bone of a giant dinosaur.
Back in 2019, paleontologists in the south of France made a remarkable discovery when they uncovered a giant dinosaur thigh bone, leaving the community speechless. The site was in the process of evacuation and had been known as a rich site for large dinosaur fossils. The bone belonged to a sauropod, the magnificent long-necked plant-eating dinosaur. Researchers immediately sent off the fossil to be examined by experts in a lab. Secret portal? Did you notice something strange in this video? Yep, you're not seeing things. The torch actually changed colors as one of the tourists dragged it over the carvings. The yellow light changed to blue as the flashlight transitioned to a different set of carvings. Unable to make sense of this bizarre phenomenon, the tourists took to the internet. As the video circulated online, netizens hypothesized secret portals concealed behind the wall, suspecting government cover-ups and alien bases. Meanwhile, I'm just hoping this is not a prelude to the mummy. Cave of Mummies. In the early 20th century in Benguet, a small town in northern Philippines, a bone-chilling discovery was made. A cave full of ancient mummies, curled in fetal positions and nestled inside pine wood coffins. The story behind these mysterious tombs was soon uncovered. They dated back to 2000 BC, the time of the Ibaloy people, who had a strange mummification process, if not downright terrifying. The process began even before the demise of the person, when it became clear that their end was nearing. They started to dehydrate the body and gave them a salty concoction to drink. And after they finally passed away, the bodies were smoked with tobacco to complete the preservation process. Evidence of giants. For centuries, historians have been obsessed with the idea of finding evidence of ancient giants roaming our planet. Their hopes were finally answered when they found traces which indicated their presence in Turkey. Near what they believed to be the dwelling of Noah, a few pieces of human bones were found. Only these weren't any regular bones, but were extraordinarily large. The toe bone, almost the size of a child's hand, was believed to belong to an 18-foot person. While this is definitely shocking, take a look at these finger bones, which turned out to be almost 3 times larger than a regular human being's. Could this be actual evidence of Nephilim existence, or just an elaborate hoax? Your guess is as good as mine. Split in two. Going about their day, construction workers were suddenly thrown off as the ground beneath their feet suddenly began to split. It jerked apart, leaving a massive crack in between, as if the earth itself was going to be chopped in half. Some eyewitnesses were blaming climate change for this, while others were thinking these were signs for the end of times. The believers, on the other hand, hinted towards divine punishment, suggesting that the earth has bore the burden of mankind's sins for too long. The mystery is still out there until environmentalists studying the phenomenon can come to a conclusion. Dinosaur track. Droughts have revealed many artifacts around the world, but a recent discovery in Texas's Biloxi riverbed stunned internet folks. Dinosaur Valley State Park uncovered 100-million-year-old dinosaur footprints stretching over 300 yards.
These are dinosaur prints that scientists say are more than 100 million years old, and they go on for more than 300 yards down this riverbed.
These tracks belong to a Sauroposeidon, a 60-foot-tall, about 100,000-pound dinosaur. While the drought was troublesome for many, it allowed scientists to map the world's longest dinosaur trackways for the first time. However, with risks of erosion and future floods, preserving these tracks has become crucial.
There are many dinosaur footprints found. So we're out looking for more footprints, and we believe we've stumbled across a very large human footprint.
Here's another discovery out of Texas. When the explorer's trip took an unexpected turn, he stumbled upon giant footprints. He compared their size to his own foot, showing just how enormous they were. These weren't any ordinary footprints. Complete with 5 toes, they were found surrounded by dinosaur tracks. And this bit of information sparked an online frenzy, with some dismissing the find, claiming no humanoid giants existed during dinosaur times, while others wanted experts to check it out. So far, no one knows if it's real or not. Gilgamesh Tablet. Iraq finally reclaimed their history when they retrieved the Gilgamesh Dream Tablet, stolen 30 years ago. It may look like an ordinary chunk of clay, but the priceless artifact has thousands of years of old literature written on it. It tells the story of a legendary hero named Gilgamesh, and is considered to be one of the world's oldest known religious texts. The tablet had been stolen from the Iraqi museum during the 1990s and was sold off to a church with forged documentation. Luckily, the artifact was presented at an auction in the United States, where the UN's cultural organization intervened and returned the tablet to Iraq. Jurassic fossils.
2 sets of dinosaur fossils from the Jurassic period have been discovered in southwest China's Yunnan province.
In the Yunnan province of China, a team of paleontologists have managed to get their hands on a dinosaur fossil that dates back to the Jurassic period. 9 meters long with multiple vertebrae and complete hind legs. The 180 million-year-old dinosaur was incredibly well preserved. The experts identified it as the Lufengosaurus and believed it would greatly help in understanding the evolution of dinosaurs, as well as the climate and environment of that time. Dragon fossil. Dragons are mythical creatures that appear in folklore of multiple cultures worldwide, and surprisingly enough, the ancient depictions of these creatures are quite similar even among cultures that had no contact with each other. Could this be just a coincidence? Or did these beasts actually exist? A clip on the internet is kicking up a storm of speculation among the online community. It showed a man standing at the bottom of a shaft, and right by his feet was the unmistakable head of a dragon. While many netizens went crazy seeing the very first evidence of a dragon, skeptics thought it was carved from dirt. For now, it remains a possible hoax until officially reported otherwise. Mysterious creature. Out in the wild, a man heard strange cries. Deciding to investigate, he followed them and found a narrow cave opening. As he zoomed in from his phone camera, a glowing pair of eyes came into view. Chilled to the bone by this sinister discovery, the guy immediately took off, leaving us all in suspense. While we'll never know what it actually was, netizens eagerly shared their theories, ranging from cave-dwelling gnomes to trolls thriving in the darkness. Some people pointed out that it was very likely to be a big cat or a cave lion. Moving ground. At first glance, it might look like the ground is moving on its own, but as the camera focused to capture a clearer shot, it became visible that the ground was swarming with countless beetles. Recorded on a street of Saudi Arabia, the clip went absolutely viral and left netizens to speculate what it could be. Some thought it was the sign of an upcoming disaster. Locals were terrified, thinking where all these bugs were crawling out from. I just hope they didn't get inside any houses, as it's going to be a heck of a task to get them out. Unicorn skull. If you've ever wondered if unicorns existed in real life, some strange evidence has surfaced. While excavating, this guy initially thought he had discovered a typical ancient animal skull. However, as he cleaned it up a little, he found a massive horn attached to it resembling a unicorn. The discovery didn't stop there. Another video emerged showing a similar discovery, with a skull sporting a long horn. It has stayed a mystery if these skulls really belonged to a mythical being. Gilgamesh tomb. In 2002, a group of explorers discovered a bizarre tomb while searching the arid lands of Iran. Going inside, they found the body of the Sumerian god Gilgamesh, so well preserved it seemed as though he might wake up and start speaking at any moment. The authenticity of the video documenting this find is still heavily debated, but many believe it could be a genuine discovery that would definitely change our understanding of the ancient world, while skeptics suggest it's probably a well-crafted hoax. Ancient book. There have been a lot of ancient scriptures discovered from all over the world, and this is one of them. A guy got his hands on this book that was found in a stash of ancient artifacts. As he opened it up, the book was filled with a bunch of pictures and strange writing he was unable to identify. The question was, who wrote this book, and where did the guy find it? Pictures of the human body and strange symbols were drawn all over the pages. And that wasn't all. Here's another one of the books found somewhere else. This one also had similar things inside of it. One thing which stood out in this one was the giant-headed figure at the bottom right corner. It looked very similar to the alien beings we've come to know. There's been no confirmation on whether these books are real or not, leaving behind a ton of unanswered questions. Ignited rock. A guy out on an exploration expedition came across this strange pile of rocks. He strangely discovered that these rocks had the ability to burn without smoke or any flame. Tapping the rock quite a few times with his metal still, the inside of the rock seemingly turned bright orange, like it was burning from the inside. Having no idea what these rocks were, he posted the clip online and let the internet be the judge. Some thought the clip was a hoax, while others suggested that these could be some special kind of rocks with this igniting ability. But for now, they remain a mystery. Hidden passageway. While going through old photos of his 500-year-old family home, this man noticed what looked like a secret doorway in the library. Curious to see what secrets might lie beyond, he decided to move the bookcase, and he discovered a dozen underground tunnels and hidden rooms beneath the house. He climbed up the ladder and found a large room with a wasp's nest. The guy believed that these were the servants' living quarters and storage rooms, and the tunnels were probably for them to move around the house. His exploration ended when he was faced with a blocked staircase. Who knows what other mysteries might be hidden behind it? Red sky. A couple months back, residents of a Chinese town thought an apocalypse had struck them as the sky above them turned bright red. People watched the red sky phenomenon from their homes, balconies, and streets, wondering what might have caused it. Some speculated that the red hue was due to an unknown alien activity, while others, feeling superstitious, chose to stay indoors to avoid the eerie sight. Strangely, the brightest red was observed near the port. The truth came out that those red lights were from fishing boats in the sea. Basically, those bright red hues actually attract the squid and help the fishermen to catch them. Caves and tunnels. Recently, the Euphrates River is getting quite a lot of attention from folks all over the world. Locals and historians have discovered underground caves and mysterious tunnels in the area. The unusual holes in the riverbanks are actually part of a complex network of tunnels that appear to lead to a hidden cave beneath. What has puzzled everyone is the purpose of these structures. Some speculate they were built for defensive purposes to protect the region from invaders, while others believe they might contain unearthly creatures trapped within the cave. The true purpose of these tunnels has remained hidden. Open discussion. This place might look ordinary to you at first, but this is one of the most significant religious sites. This is the Golden Gate of Jerusalem. It is one of only 2 gates of the old city of Jerusalem that were used to access the city from the east side. Now, the reason why the gate is so significant differs in different beliefs. The Jews believe that their Savior Messiah will enter the world once again from this very gate, while Christians believe that Heraclius, the Byzantine emperor, entered barefoot through the gate, just like the entry of Jesus. People believe that the sealed gate will open up once again upon the return of Jesus, and recently there's been news that the gate has opened up, meaning that the end of the world is nearer than we think. Although there's been no confirmation on the news, it's still terrifying. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.